Hi diddly ho, voterinos, and welcome into the New Faction Conservatives podcast. I'm Justin Phillips, and with me today is a man whose Oppo file isn't 99 pieces of white bread, Shadow Governor Voss.
Robin Voss's strongest soldier.
And we've got a jam-packed show for you tonight. Lots to cover this week because me and my rebellious GI tract kept us from a midweek episode. So tonight we're covering all the updates in the governor's race, going north to the 7th Congressional District. We got some immigration news, talking about politicians that either are or aren't visiting coffee shops and restaurants, and even some animal news. But first, we have to start on a somber note. Paul Farrow passed away this week. Waukesha County Executive was fighting a very brave and public fight with cancer, and really sad to see him go, not just in the political world, but in like the good guy world.
Yeah, this is, it's just, it was nice to see there was a good outpouring of support from a lot of people. I mean, obviously Paul's been pretty public about the fight that he had, and there were a couple stories that he had done over the last couple years regarding that fight. And it's one of those things where you don't want to, it's kind of a private thing for the most part, and you kind of just hope that they're doing well. And this is kind of it was a big surprise. It was not necessarily, something that we were expecting. Obviously he had a very rare form, so it wasn't a good prognosis, but certainly up until the end, a great guy, and tough to see him go. Yep. And I don't want to talk about the primary.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say something.
We'll save the primary talk for maybe our next episode.
It seems wrong. So,
but Paul was someone that it got along with just about everyone, and I say this as someone who worked a campaign against him several years ago, and I went out. Fresh, a very young staffer in the legislature. We went out after the budget, and he was there, and he was talking to me. I'm like, where do I recognize you from? And I mentioned it, and he was still like super cool, and he made a couple jokes, and then we got along very well. He was always very welcoming when he was a state legislator, and I think it carried through, and I think that really meant something for everyone because, even though it was super tone deaf, Melissa Agard, the Dane County executive, did say something nice about him. David Crowley did say, and it wasn't just, I'm sorry to see Paul Farrow's, hear of his passing. My thoughts are with him. No, it was like they were both like 4-paragraph things of like, and they all started like, my friend Paul Farrow, which I think it speaks to the type of person that he was to a lot of people.
He was a better man than me. I don't know how many friends I have that are Democrats. So, and the ones that I do have usually don't talk to me. Unfortunately, I sometimes, but it's just, I'd like to talk politics, and so it usually doesn't go well. Right. But good for Paul for being able to maybe separate that a little bit more.
Oh yeah, and I mentioned Melissa Agard's tone deaf Facebook post. It was because she was talking about 2 county executives in that one, and it was David Crowley who dropped out of the race for governor that she sandwiched into Paul Farrow. So let's talk a little bit about David Crowley dropping out. I think to me it came as a surprise, only in that I felt like we're a month away. We're close enough. Your name is on the ballot. Those absentee or the early votes are going out. Might as well just see it through to the end, I guess. Like that was my thought that people would do now, but Crowley was polling in the lower half.
5% probably was the last time that he was polled at. I mean, I'm not going to say that this is surprising because it wasn't. However, it's kind of the sunk cost fallacy where it's like you put all this money in, you had all this money spent on your behalf. You might as well see it through. But there is something to be said about someone using their influence to help someone else out, and they might scratch your back. Yeah. But however, I don't really see Crowley as someone taking like a cabinet position. He's already Milwaukee County Executive, which is a huge role.
More powerful than most, if not all, cabinet positions.
Yeah, unless you're like DOA or something, and I don't know what he would even want to be, even if he wanted to be in the cabinet.
You see a former DOA secretary right now running, and they're at the bottom of the polling. So it's not like, DOA elevates you any more than he could at Milwaukee County, because at least at Milwaukee County, if you're flying in and out of the airport, you hear, "Hi, I'm David Crowley. Welcome to Milwaukee," or "Welcome home."
Free name ID.
Exactly.
Free name ID. So he's obviously more powerful and more influence as Milwaukee County. So maybe he just genuinely wanted to throw his support, behind Sarah, and maybe that's all it. You know, that's all she wrote, type of thing. But it is interesting, and I can't, and I'm going to forget who put this out on Twitter, but it was there was someone that put out the betting odds, not the real betting odds, but for like who's going to drop out. And it was Crowley. Okay. Was it with had the highest.
Yeah.
On this person. I'm just going to bother me who it wasn't or who it was that I can't recall, but they had Joel Brennan at less odds.
Okay.
And I was like, I 100% agree. I always see kind of Joel as like, I don't know, he's just going to stick it out to the end. I really do think, unless they're going to promise him something, but like, I just don't see it. And plus, now that Crowley's out of the race, his lane, I feel like is maybe more or less consolidated. I mean, I don't think he's going to be able to siphon off any more voters than he already has. But he's got his little lane, and he's just, got a couple $100,000 of donor money. I think he's just going to play around and see it all the way to August 11th. But yeah, I mean, obviously the big news with Crowley dropping out is he endorsed Sarah.
Yes.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
So,
and that endorsement, so there's two things about that. First is we could talk about, like, do you think Crowley's supporters immediately jump behind Sarah? Or do you think, like, because I think there's a conventional, albeit probably wrong, think that, wisdom that they're going to automatically go to Mandela. And I know that's not true, because I've talked about this before. And I don't pretend to know it at all, but like Milwaukee black politics is very divided, and there's cliques and groups and subgroups. Like they're
not going to pretend to know how that works. However, the more I think about it, the more I think Mandela is just utterly cooked.
Okay,
like I just think it's a dead campaign. It's just, I think there is a very high likelihood Mandela takes third and maybe even fourth.
Oh, Kelda ahead. It's tough to put him there. I mean,
it's tough to put him in fourth, but like a very solid mid third. I hesitate to drop him any more than that, just because his name ID alone, and he just did an ad buy. Yeah. So he's going to have a little bit more name ID, but I just think, vibes-based politics is a real thing. And so when you think about, you think about campaign infrastructure, you think about, the momentum on the ground, you think about how much money they're spending on TV and stuff. Not the yard signs vote. I've never seen a Mandela sign. No, never. I've seen Hong. I've seen Hong. I've seen Joel. I've seen Crowley. I've seen Kelda.
I think I even saw Missy.
No, I've never saw Missy. I never saw Missy, and I never saw Mandela. I've not seen a single one. So I'm thinking that I want to know where there's like 20% or 25% of voters that say they're voting for Mandela, because is he going to be like, he's clearly trying to get kind of the more normie, maybe outstate people. Maybe he's kind of relinquished Madison type of thing. Maybe go for Bao. So I just think it's a floundering campaign.
You say that because he's basically running like the Black Tom Tiffany campaign. Like
kind of.
You go to a bar wearing a flannel, like, I mean, Tom did it. I know it's a little different, but you go in there and you do the talking to other people thing. Like, that's a really, again,
he's trying to be normal.
That bar looked like a Northwoods bar. Like, it looked more generic than some other places could be, but
I just don't think it's going to work.
No,
I just don't know if there's enough primary voters. Like, it'd be one thing if, the majority of the population is outstate. It's not in the Southeast. It's not in Madison, not in Milwaukee. Most of the population is outstate. But are there enough Democrat primary voters outstate? I don't know. So, my vibes, and this is, again, the money says, okay, Mandela's probably in a solid second place. But the vibes alone just are so bad that I have to put him in third and put Sarah in second. She put in $1 million recently.
She's got that third party stuff.
She's got the third party stuff. She's got a little bit of endorsement momentum. She's got a few union. They're coalescing. Of course, people talk about here. But that's my view of it right now.
Let's talk about that. So Crowley dropping out, like now, like I said, it's sunk cost. Maybe he sticks it into the end. But did the establishment get their marching orders? Like, this has happened before. We've seen it when they cleared the Dem field for Senate for Mandela. We saw it when they didn't have a primary in 2024 once they got rid of Joe Biden. Talk about 2020. The Carolina, or what was that? The bargain to get Pete Buttigieg and Elizabeth Warren out, like, happened before. They've done this clear, the anti-Bernie section of the 2016 primary. You can go back pretty far. So is this just another Graham Plantner right now? Probably James Talrico next in Texas and in Maine. And so is this the next one of the establishment's got their marching orders? This is all setting up so Sarah can defeat Francesca Hong in the primary.
Well, don't take my word for it. Why don't we just take Sarah Rodriguez's word for it? So
that was barely above Kamala word salad. Go look at my website of what I've done, what I'm going to do, what will be done.
So might have a little Patriot crash out here. First of all, David Crowley, you can just tell David Crowley is a better politician than Sarah. Right off the bat, like, did the establishment tell you to drop out? He's like, no, they didn't tell me to drop out. And gives a pretty good answer. It sufficed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone's coming back from that saying, any normal person, like, oh, the establishment has got the fix in. Mm-hmm. And then Sarah's just like, same question to you. Yeah, just check out my website. What?
She didn't even pivot. There was no hard pivot to the talking point or to what she wanted to talk about.
It was just, no, let's just avoid that question completely and check out my website. And I think Wisconsin's voters want the things that I'm proposing. Wow. Congratulations. Every politician ever. First of all, let's get one thing absolutely correct. David Crowley said, no one told me to drop out. Okay, I believe him. However, a nice conversation with the DPW chair or other people, donors that say, hey, David, you're at 5% right now. I don't know if I can continue, I don't know if I can max out to you because I don't see your poll numbers moving. I think you should probably drop out. Okay, a couple conversations like that, and you're like, okay, that's the writing on the wall, and then I drop out. Now, is that the establishment pushing them? Yeah, I think when you have donors, party insiders saying that, I think that's probably a push towards Sarah. Now, I don't think Crowley's an idiot. I mean, clearly Sarah would be, someone that the establishment would want. She doesn't have a record. She doesn't have a lot of things that would probably hurt her in the general. So she's a great vassal, if you will. And so, yeah, she's the logical choice for them. So that doesn't mean the establishment didn't have their hand in this at all. Exactly. Even though he says, no, they didn't call me to tell me, David, drop out. Like, come on. This isn't a cartoon show. This is real life.
Right.
People are nuanced. They say things without saying them. Okay. We're not idiots. Sarah is, though. Sarah is a bad politician. She doesn't have a record. I get so worked up about this clip because Sarah's like, look at the things I've done. Okay, yeah, you were in the CDC. You're a nurse.
A nurse for like 2 years.
I don't even know the length of her term. I'm just acquiescing in it. She was a nurse. Worked at the CDC. But her whole ad is like everything nursified. It's ridiculous. The point being, though, her actual record, she was in the assembly for 1 term. Okay.
Did she? And I think we talked about this. She barely co-sponsored anything.
I don't think she co-sponsored a whole lot of things.
I think she didn't get a bill across the finish line.
No. And then obviously she had some votes, probably some good and some bad, probably. But as lieutenant governor, I mean, if you become the lieutenant governor, you are in a fantastic spot that most politicians would kill for. Free publicity, 4 years in office to build up name ID. If you want to run for office, you would think you would maximize all of that time and all of that effort to build up your name ID to make a run for governor. She did nothing. She says I visited all 72 counties. I never saw anything about it. You never tried to spearhead an issue. You never tried to build a platform that you could then launch yourself into governor.
She wasn't even border czar.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about this right now. Everything you're saying, everything in that clip, she sounds like Kamala Harris and has the resume of Kamala Harris.
In a way, she does. Although she is significantly shorter than Kamala Harris. Sarah Rodriguez is a little person. Okay. And I say like very short, maybe 5 foot, which I guess that's not a qualification for governor. It's just an observation. I thought I was like, wow. That clip, I was just like, David Crowley, I don't think is a super tall guy, but she is really short. That sidetracked me slightly. The point being, though, as lieutenant governor, the only thing that she has done was that she did a like blue ribbon committee on like healthcare, like workers. I can't even remember. It was a one-off thing and it's also. She doesn't get a lot of stuff because Evers doesn't like her. Yeah. And Evers liked Crowley. So I'm sure this one hurts for Evers and his team. They're like, we like David. We didn't like Sarah, but they're kind of like probably holding, biting their tongue right now. So it's the dynamics of the race have shifted a little bit, but Sarah, boy, this clip, I hope we use this at some point if she were to win the primary somehow. But as her reign as lieutenant governor, if she loses the primary, she can only blame herself. You had 4 years, tons of time, opportunities, wasted it all away, and you can only blame yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
well said. So
all right, I'll hop off the soapbox
for just a quick second. We got to talk about 2 of the other candidates that are in the race, and we're not going to get out without talking about the top and the bottom.
Okay.
So this is more of in case you missed it, but there was this story in the Journal Sentinel about Francesca Hong saying she regretted calling the police over a Gaza protest display. And the fact that this is a news story, the fact that she has to apologize because there was a rally going on and she called to report a protest display featuring a paint-splattered Israel flag. That's what qualifies for something that needs to be apologized for in the modern Democrat Party.
Well, yeah, it's just kind of an utter state of the Democrat Party. I don't know if I have any other comment other than the absolute lunacy of like, hey, she thought something was concerning, called the police over it, and now she has to apologize. Like, it's just a humiliation ritual. Yeah. And honestly, the fact that Francesca Hong has to go through this like apology tour, like no Democrat is ever safe. Like, exactly. Would it be a little kind of, it must be scary to be a Democrat politician.
Yeah.
You could be the furthest left DSA radical. You go to the bat for them for everything. And this one thing you like, quote unquote, slipped up on.
Yep.
Now, the thing is Francesca, for being as far left as she is, she can really do no wrong in these people's, eyes. So I don't think this story is going to.
Well, I think that the DSA left is the only group that truly thinks Palestine and Israel needs to be a central focus for a gubernatorial race in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And that's why she has to do it. And again, that's the utter state of the modern Democrat Party right there.
Yeah. Like, is Iran going to come up probably in a governor's election for November? I mean, it might be mentioned. I mean, maybe in relation to gas prices and affordability.
Right.
But like, they're not, I don't think Tom Tiffany or the eventual Democrat nominee are going to have to get a position on foreign involvement.
We'll have to handicap some of these statements or these phrases and things for our upcoming reviewing of the Democrat gubernatorial debate.
Yeah. Gosh, I kind of forgot that was happening.
Mm-hmm, but no, if everyone's dropping out, it's going to be, but we got to talk about one other candidate. So we hinted a little bit, Graham Plantner in Maine had, just this most disastrous 6 months.
Maybe the most disastrous campaign.
Yeah.
As far as Oppo.
Yeah.
Like ever.
And you think this is what got him out in July? Like, what do you think the RNC was holding on to for October?
Oh, gosh.
But that being said,
they should just release it just for fun.
Oh my God. Just bury the guy.
I mean, Susan Collins probably has more money than God right now. So like
her driveway is paved with the skulls of her fallen enemies.
Yes.
So on the flip side of the Graham Plantner types, you have the Joel Brennan, who released an Oppo book that amounts to him almost facing eviction because he stopped paying his rent. He dropped a Canadian penny in the take a penny, leave a penny drawer. Like, I don't know. It was nothing. And like, so the question I have is not, is this, do you think it's cheeky? Is this fun? Is this good? Or is this lame and stupid?
I'm going to give him some points. So for those that don't know, Oppo file, it's all the bad stuff about a candidate.
Yes.
Usually those things are not dropped willingly by the candidate, but Joel, it's a little bit of a shtick. It's a little bit of a tchotchke thing. He's like, oh, here's my Oppo file. And it's just like all these like very like normal things that aren't actually like bad.
He once took the last slice of pizza at a party without asking if anyone else wanted it first.
Yeah. Like, so I think it's creative.
Yeah.
And I think it would have worked fantastically. Like, I don't know, 10 years ago or something.
Yeah. Like most of Joel Brennan's resume and
yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of a fun thing, but like, I mean, Joel has to generate news. Like, he's got to generate earned media. How do you do that? You got to come up with a story. Mm-hmm. Okay, and he got news. We're talking about it. Other people talked about it. I don't know how much, but we're talking about it.
Yeah,
we're not going to vote for him, but so, I mean, good for him in that regard of thinking outside the box, or his consultants for coming thinking outside the box. But
and you're right, it's not going to move the needle. Clever.
It's
cool.
A purity test in the Democrat primary. They don't really want to know, unless he should honestly release the actual Oppo book, because apparently, Francesca Hong releasing that she has $30,000 in credit card debt. Worked better than releasing the actual. I have nothing in my Oppo file.
The empty book. So
I don't know what to tell Joel. I don't know what you have to do.
But let's take a moment to not talk about the gubernatorial race, but talk about another race with multiple candidates in the primary right now, is the 7th Congressional District, which is the race to replace Tom Tiffany. Now, there were 4 candidates in that race now.
Kind of forgot there was 4. Right?
And you, Shadow Gov here, took some time, watched the debate between Kevin Hermaning, Michael Alfonso, Nita Baum, and Jesse Eben. Did that on the first try. So give us, I'll tell you who I think that was the very clear winner. And then, but after you.
Very clear winner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really have a very clear winner. Okay. I have a did good plus.
Sure.
Sure. That's kind of, so I don't want to say winners, I think a strong word. Mm-hmm. I watched this. I thought it was interesting. I got to give credit to, I can't remember the news outlet that did the debate, but very good. Orderly, and this is also on the candidates. It was a debate, but there wasn't any like talking over.
I'll get to it now. Actually, that was my clear winner was the debate and the moderator. Like, I actually thought the questions that the moderator asked were probably tougher than like general election. Like, he actually asked some of those like Oppo-ish questions or attack moments. Like, I thought that was, you don't get that often. You usually get a lot of bland tell us about blah, 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 but not like, why do you suck? Or, like, why are you attacking this person? That kind of got in there, and I liked it a lot. So
yeah, no,
now,
I thought it was very good. And I have to also give them credit for basically doing, here's your intro statement. And then while we have the maximum amount of listeners, here's all the oppo on you guys.
Yeah.
And for those that didn't watch, essentially it was, here's your opening statement. And then basically they went through each of the candidates' biggest hits against them.
Exactly. Really unique, really kind of cool.
And they did it. It was fair. They asked everybody's hard questions. So obviously they talked about Alfonso, and they talked about the situation regarding the employment at church, which, again, kind of a niche issue. Like, most of our listeners probably aren't even going to be aware of this niche issue.
Quite frankly, I think if you're not a deeply involved political person, you might actually assume that a candidate resigns their job to run for Congress or something. Like, you go, you burn the ship and go on. But like, so it wouldn't be, if someone didn't have a job while running for Congress, wouldn't surprise me at all.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Wouldn't change my opinion of them in that sense.
Yeah. So this is a inter-Nicene thing. And then Kevin Hermaning, this one is even more confusing because it's about, apparently there was a post by the Waukesha GOP chairman who said something about Kevin Hermaning, who took, I shouldn't say took, but he received money because, for those that don't know, he was captured. He was in the military. He was captured and was held prisoner, political prisoner in Iran for over a year, a couple decades ago. And so he received some money as a result of that, as well as the other prisoners and other, and he said that this came out of the same fund that some like 9/11 survivors also received. So it was a large sum of money, and he said that he donated a good portion of it or something. But the insinuation was he kind of was,
he profited from.
Yes, he profited from it.
You know what probably is? It's half of it's got to be back pay,
but it's so
like
in the
hazard
weeds.
pay. Yeah,
it's so in the weeds, and it's like, boy, I can't even. I mean, I understand it, but the average person listening to that wouldn't have followed it.
Exactly.
I think, and then Jesse Eben, the big hit on her is obviously she had recently moved to the district, and that she signed like Walker recall back a long time ago when she was 21 in college, which I thought she explained fine. Yeah. She didn't really explain the moving one as much.
No,
but I mean, she talked about the family farm. That was fine. I thought it was fine. Yeah. I didn't think it was like overly damaging.
I feel like we've talked about her a long time ago, and that like people are at an age, and the distance between the Walker recall now being 15 years or 14 years is like, you could be a changed person by now. Now, I'm not saying I'm not
like it was signed 2 or 3 years ago.
Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying give a free pass to anyone who signed it and explains it away now. But you're right. You sign it at 18 because it's the cool thing to do, and your high school teacher and homeroom is forcing you to do it or really pressuring you. And you become your mid 30s now, and you vote Republican. Like, I'm not gonna those situations happen.
Yeah. So I thought that was fine, and then the big woofda is Nina Baum. So for those that don't know, Nina Baum is an interesting candidate. She's a Democrat, pretty much. She claims to have voted for Republican or Donald Trump in 2016, but then says she did not vote for him in 2020 or 2024.
Right.
Which I'm sure that there are Republicans that didn't vote for him, but will vote for us and other things. So I'm not going to hold that against them. Although I think that I don't know how you can't vote for Trump when we had Kamala literally. But if I'll save everyone the time. She uses leftist coded words, kind of jargon. She's the only one that was talking about data center moratoriums, which there are some Democrats in the Democrat primary. Actually, all of them, except for Francesca, don't even support a moratorium on data centers. So I don't know I think that's kind of her just niche issue. And, I'll give her this. She's working hard, it seems like, on a low budget. She's clearly going to be the one that's the least funded.
It's really fascinating. Her candidacy is, again, it's I think very much she's not I think she's a Democrat.
Yeah. I think she
might be a moderate Democrat. Fine.
Yeah. I mean, she grew up in the Northwoods. Right. I mean, she probably shot guns and
maybe
that stuff.
You look at the Dem total vote in the 7th congressional district in November, and then compare it to an August primary for all the Republicans, and you think, I can get 40 to 60% of those Democrats to vote for me in a primary. I think that's her strategy. Her decisions not to vote for Trump feel like they should be the opposite. I feel like for a lot of people, it's the opposite. Is things were so bad in 2024, we had to vote for Donald Trump. 2020, well, he didn't do so great on the vaccine stuff or whatever. Like he didn't. COVID was really tough, so I didn't vote for him. And it's like 2016, I thought he was a bore. I didn't like him at all, and of course, I didn't vote for him. That's a normal order, I think, for a lot of moderate to center right voters. She did the opposite. She's like, yeah, 10 years ago I voted for him, but screw him now. Like that's completely the wrong way.
Yeah. So I mean,
but yeah, being again, I think her entire calculus is there are probably enough Democrats if 100% of them vote in the primary for me that I will defeat all the other.
Yeah, except for she doesn't realize that there's a competitive primary for governor for the Democrats, and they can't vote for you if they're voting in the Democrat primary. Yep. So this would be a fine strategy, and I would even say an intriguing strategy if she didn't if she wasn't competing with a Democrat primary for governor. So like she's dead in the water. Like it is what it is. So I don't want to waste too much. Probably wasted more breath than I needed to on that. But that's kind of the general dynamics. I thought the debate was fine. There weren't any viral moments necessarily. There wasn't any gotcha questions after the moderator laid out kind of those very direct, honest questions. Everything else was about the economy, affordability. Sure. They talked about the gray wolf, delisting it, allowing a wolf hunt.
Something that is necessary and is being held up by Tammy Baldwin. Yep.
Data centers was a decent one. There maybe were some interesting answers to that, but it wasn't anything like no one's getting in trouble.
Right.
And no one's going to be put in a mailer because of what that was said or not said.
So to wrap it up, in your opinion, no changes. So you would, Michael Alfonso, front runner.
I mean, Michael Alfonso did what he had to do, which was
show up
and be the Trump guy.
Yeah.
And he is, and he was endorsed by Trump. And he talked about him. And I thought he did enough to basically keep where he was at. Although I want to say Jesse Eben, I thought did better than I expected.
Okay. That's your
Jesse Eben did good plus.
Okay.
Where it's like Alfonso did what he needed to do. Kevin Herming did what he had to do. But it wasn't like they didn't.
Right.
They already had high bars, and so they cleared them. Jesse, not that she had a lower bar, I just didn't know how I didn't know what to expect. So I think she exceeded my expectations.
And then Nina was a wild card.
So
yeah. So with that, we got to talk some immigration news. And I know there's a lot going on in the immigration world this week. And the first one is actually, so for those who don't recall, Hannah Dugan arrested, became convicted of helping violent illegal immigrants escape ICE through a back room or a side room of a courthouse. We went live. I think it was our first attempt at a live stream when she was found guilty, which surprised us. And then I think when we were talking about the sentencing a couple weeks ago, I said I wouldn't be surprised if there was no prison time, there's no fine, and she got off because, well, she had to resign her position as a judge and she's forever be a felon because of this. So that would conclude, I think, all her punishment. And I expected that to be the result, but she got just above that, which is she has no probation, no prison time. She has to pay a $5,000 fine.
Oh, buddy. What is she going to do? Totally unrelated. She raised $129,000 for her legal defense. Now, granted, she had like 4 lawyers, so
they probably ate in most of that, but maybe she saved $5,000.
Most of that. I don't know what their retainer is, but I mean, it was probably a lot of money. But she probably has $5,000 laying around from that legal defense to pay that. But I mean, she's marked with a felony, so like she can't practice law. Granted, I mean, she was probably close to retirement age.
She's 61 or something like that.
Yeah, so like, I mean, judges can be on the bench. I mean, Lynn Edelman, for example.
He's 85, yeah.
So she could have probably had another 20 years. Who knows how many more illegals she could have protected. But
it does send a message that even though you aren't punished with what is traditionally the sentence for this crime, which I think was 18 to 24 months plus a $125,000 fine or $250,000. It's a hefty fine, and you give them just above nothing. But it happened in Milwaukee County. It happened in a liberal county. She was convicted as a judge. And you got to think maybe there's enough for other judges to notice that they can't be as brazen and shouldn't be doing these sort of things, because you can still be convicted by a jury of your peers.
I mean, they could just continue to let illegals with probation normally. The thing is Dugan took extrajudicial means to protect this illegal foreign national criminal that strangulated somebody. Didn't die, but just was strangulating them and beat them. She went above and beyond. Most judges just, give them probation, let them out on bail, whatever, let them go. They just do it the old-fashioned way. So I don't think that we're going to all of a sudden see a bunch of judges, basically self-immolating by trying to protect illegals, trying to shield them or something, quite literally like she did. Which goes on to say, if Dugan wants a job that involves, shielding or helping illegals, she can just get a job with Waukesha de la Frontera. I'm here, they're hiring. So those that don't know, that is the illegal group that just advocates for driver's licenses for illegals so they can be legitimized and whatnot. But anyway, that saga is done. I don't know what she's going to do. I mean, she might do nothing. She might kind of just
paper push at a law firm, just not practicing. At 61, maybe you spend a lot of time in the Milwaukee County bench. Maybe you've got that pension. I don't know.
Hopefully we don't talk about her again. But history has shown that every time I say that, they always come back.
Exactly. So a really cool story I wanted to talk about involving ICE agents is they actually interrupted a planned arrest operation in Milwaukee fairly recently, because they helped rescue a woman trapped in an overturned vehicle after a crash. Really just wild stuff that they saw that. And as law enforcement officers knew that saving the life of someone who was in a perilous situation meant more than this operation. I think that's a really good thing to see from ICE agents in Milwaukee.
Yeah. I mean, this is, it's nice to have some positive stories about ICE. Because of course the liberal media won't probably bite on this, and certainly you won't see this on the Facebook timeline, if you will, people posting about this. So yeah, just kind of a good story, because they're not monsters. They're not evil people. The left likes to demonize and say, oh, they're wearing masks and they're evil people and fascists and Hitler-like and, whatever derogatory statements. So it's nice just to see a positive story that, yes, they're still law enforcement. They're still going to, they're not going to just not help people. And obviously, like if they were in the middle of an operation, they probably couldn't have helped. But clearly they had some time and were able to help. And so, yeah, good for them.
So talking about people that you thought we would be done talking about, Shadow Gov, your favorite illegal immigrant, is back in the United States.
Yeah. So I just gotta stop talking. And I have to stop saying this is the last time we're talking about this, because I'm on at least 4 times I've said this, and this woman keeps on coming back. Literally, she's back in the United States, in Milwaukee. Yesenia Oriano. And I don't want to recap, but here we are. A legal foreign national from El Salvador came to the country like 15 years ago, applied for a T visa for victims, as a victim's visa. She was, I believe, sexually assaulted on her way to the United States, as are a lot of people that are trafficked via the coyotes and stuff across the border. Horrible that happened, of course. But the T visas, I believe, are meant for people that flee their country because of the abuse that happened in their country. So they're fleeing the country because of it. She did not do that. She's been in the country for a while. She had 2 children that are now U.S. citizens, has a husband. They had a house, or at least they had a tenant, or they owned an apartment. Yeah. They had property.
Yeah.
They had property, which they are now leasing out since they've been gone. Long story short, I said, no, you have to self-deport. She did, went back. the Journal Sentinel used their last remaining $4 to send Sophie Carson down to El Salvador to do an expose on her, of course, and how hard it is.
Well, they had to send her down because, according to Chris Larson, she had died. You remember that?
Yes, of course. Yeah. How could I forget? Yeah, Chris Larson, the illustrious local village idiot, also occupies a state Senate seat, said that she just died, which is just, you can just say things like that apparently now. No, she's perfully all and well.
I don't think he ever apologized or admitted he was wrong there.
Of course not. And no one ever backed it. I think the media did call him out maybe a little bit because that's really egregious.
I think Price was still alive then, so it might have.
Yeah, probably. So R.I.P. But they did this whole story on her and, woe is me. And, I have to live in my home country. What am I going to do? Oh no, gosh darn it. I have to live in El Salvador, my home country, even though they're building a house there and everything. Fast forward, some California judge says, you can come back. Yeah. Okay. So she's back. And I'm done. I'm out of empathy. I'm out of compassion. I'm at what point do these people get off? Because there was the follow-up story. Yesenia Ruano returns to the U.S. from El Salvador after ICE forced her to leave. And in the story, she said that the ICE operations were, quote, inhumane persecutions. Inhumane persecutions. People are being persecuted. Persecuted peoples are usually people that don't deserve it. Honey, you're not from here. You're illegal. I'm sorry. Whatever happened to you, horrible. But that doesn't mean that we just get to let the entire world, tons of bad things happen. There are wars all over the world. You might not know about them, but they're going on. Famines, droughts, terrible things happen. We cannot take the entire world. I get it. Everyone wants to come here. You are an economic striver. You are not a refugee. Okay, make money in your own country. I want these people to be successful in their own country. I really do. I want El Salvador to be developed. I want these Middle and South American countries to be more developed, so they don't have to send these mass migration. And I'm not going to get on my high horse here or my soapbox, but bad things happen, okay? And we've seen the effects of mass immigration, mass illegal immigration. So the fact that these people are saying inhumane prosecutions, no, you just came here because you wanted a better life. I get it. She also added in this new article, this is a great nation. We can't be divided or destroyed by hate. First of all, that's probably translated from Spanish because I don't think I've ever seen her speak English. So I want to know if Sophie Carson translated this to sound like it was just some white suburban wine mom that said it and not an illegal immigrant. We can't be divided by or destroyed by hate.
That's just a straight up Dem talking point.
That is just, you could hear that on any Democrat talking point, literature piece, any Democrat politician at your door, it's just also eating it up.
Yeah.
So Yesenia, of course.
Also, is it really hateful to enforce the laws we have on the books in this country? Yes, it's hateful that I got pulled over for a speeding ticket. I mean, come on. The laws are there for a reason. It sucks.
If I get a speeding ticket, then it's hateful.
Right. But it sucks. Yeah, I was persecuted against because I was going 65 and a 55, but no one was around and I wasn't bothering anyone.
Of course. I get it. We all make excuses for ourselves and whatnot, but you're not from here.
You broke the law. It sucks.
For example, and of course, Sophie Carson with the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and this is not just her, it's just any partisan hack that's a journalist. They of course use the kids as this emotional plea. How is it my fault that you decide to have kids here and then when the consequences of your own actions impact them?
Yep.
Okay, so this is not on us. Okay, this is on you. You made the decision to come here illegally, and I don't blame you. If I was living in El Salvador, I would probably do the same thing too. Doesn't mean it's right though. Doesn't mean it's right. And it doesn't mean that you are absolved from all wrongdoing for what you did. But yes, she's an economic striver like 95% of the people that try to get into the country. I get it. I want the American dream for Americans though first. And the fact that she can own a home in Milwaukee and that she's renting it out. And at least in the article, it says that after that tenant's lease is up, they're going to move back in. Good for them. I wish that another American family could have that. Now, it doesn't mean that, I mean, she had to sell all of her stuff and everything. So, like, even if she stays in the United States, yeah, it's going to be rough for her. But
it's better than being in El Salvador. Probably.
Yeah, I guess it's better than being in El Salvador. But she broke the laws of our country. She applied for a niche visa that doesn't apply to her case years after being here. And now she wants to rectify it since the laws are finally being enforced. You don't get to have your cake and eat it too. The just conclusion to this, in this unending saga, that I will not say is ending right now, is that DHS expedites her visa claim, denies it. And then once they deny it, I'm pretty sure they can just redeport her or self-deport her.
I think that's something that's definitely plausible, probably even before the end of the year. So we have to get some funnier stories this week. I'm not going to necessarily call them all candy, but they are kind of ridiculous and a little bit silly in some ways. But first one is the Green Bay clerk for the second straight election has sent out duplicate absentee ballots to voters, and they finally placed her on leave of absence for this.
Yeah. And Ann Jacobs is pissed, which those that don't know, Ann Jacobs on the Wisconsin Elections Commission.
And very active on X, she's kind of the only outlet for the Wisconsin Elections Commission.
Correct. And she's a big Democrat, of course. And she's just like, okay, we need to look into this. So this is how you know it's bad. When WEC is taking action, like, guys, what? Can you not print double ballots in back-to-back? It's not just back-to-back elections. It's like the April general and the August primary. So we're talking a few months.
Yes.
Like, hey, we had a big screw up. Let's not do it again. Well, she did.
It again.
This will be interesting. I mean, who knows when we'll get info, back. I think if I was looking at the dates correct, the report that they have to give of like what happened comes after the November election. So So we're not going to even get something till after that.
This is ridiculous. But maybe she'll at least be placed on leave from then, and someone who is competent can take over elections in Green Bay. I doubt that's the case because Eric Gingrich is a really kind of crappy mayor up there and a partisan leftist hack.
We'll see.
Speaking of partisan leftist hacks, that these one doesn't know how to make the ballot, even though he's been on it several times, has decided to launch a write-in campaign, and that is Brett Halsey.
Yeah. He's launching join the club. Apparently, we've talked about a few write-in candidates for governor, and they're all equally as insane as Brett. Although he's been out insane by some of the others, so he might be the most cogent of the write-in candidates.
What's crazy, like, he's been on the ballot multiple times. He knows what to do. You saw even though he screwed up his nomination papers, like Kirk Bangstead got probably enough signatures. Brett Halsey didn't turn in any. Did he forget that was a part of the process in Wisconsin to get on the ballot?
I don't know. I honestly, it's probably dangerous to speculate at this point.
But what's a shame is that he was like, there were some of those crackpot groups and those kind of kooky ones, or the ones that wanted to be inclusive of everyone, that were putting Brett Halsey like on the debate stage for the Democrat primary. And I would love to have that now, but instead he has to run as an independent, and maybe Wisconsin Eye will give him 30 minutes to rant about something, and that's the closest we'll get.
They do that at their own risk.
So let's talk about some candidates or some individuals who popped into restaurant or maybe didn't and popped into a coffee shop this week. So first off, the saga that came out of the Francesca Hong campaign, kind of by accident. Tally's Tap, an eatery, Waukesha establishment, third-generation family-owned restaurant, was the unlikely subject of some controversy because Francesca Hong put out a campaign post on X that was rallying her supporters to Tally's Tap, the misspelled version of Tally's. And then all of a sudden, Tally's Tap has to go out and put this Facebook post that says, we're not aware of this. And it again, just got a little weird. But it was implied that Francesca Hong was going to be there. And then all of a sudden it disappears from X.
Meet the candidate.
It was originally billed as a meet the candidate. rallying people. And look, we thought Francesca Hong had a really deep bench in the grassroots, and we're all behind her. And this would have, these type of events seem to be taking off in a lot of ways with a lot of candidates. I know Tom Tiffany does these like meet and greets at bars sort of thing, or Elks Halls or whatever. That's like a bit more. It's like, it's not a fundraiser. It's not a rally. It's kind of a cool thing. And Francesca Hong is doing them too. But my understanding is that someone from the Hong campaign, who might have actually been a volunteer, filled out the application, but then didn't adhere to the food or beverage minimums designed to cover staffing and overhead. So they filled it out and expected to get the space for free, which is a very socialist thing to do, and then not follow the rules regarding food and beverage minimums. I know YRs have had events there. They follow the food and beverage minimums, and Tallies takes care of them. And there's good events. So just a really odd saga that this business kind of got blindsided by the Hong campaign.
And of course, it spills out into social media. And I'm assuming what happened is you had a bunch of conservatives then saying, why are you having...
Yeah, I thought you were on our side. And even if they're open to having people from both sides, like, that makes sense. That's your answer. But all of a sudden, the guy's getting hit with, I'm not even aware of this.
Well, see, that's the problem. It's not that they had Francesca Hong there. It wasn't that they even were entertaining having her as not a guest, but just like having an event there, or even if it was small or something. It was the fact that here they didn't even think that she was coming.
Yeah.
That it was even a thing. And then they get all the blowback like they were going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So of course, for those that don't know, this spilled out into Facebook, of course, all good arguments do, of course.
Yep.
So this was a night, and they had to put a statement out, which, they've been dealing with calls and everything. Like, first of all, I love our boomers, but this sounds like a boomer thing. My favorite bar, my favorite restaurant, having a socialist, I gotta let them have it. Like, trust me, I get it. I don't like a socialist as much as the next person. However, like, come on, we don't need to call an establishment to harass them about, like, at the end of the day, what they want to do, just don't patronize them. The problem is for Tallies is, like, they didn't actually even have her there.
Yep.
And so they're getting all the blowback without actually. So I kind of feel for everybody in the scenario, except for Hong, of course, because they just did it wrong.
I did catch another comment, and I took a screenshot of this. I forget where I got it from. I'm just looking at the screenshot right now. So it might have been Wisconsin Right Now. It might have been on the Heartland Post one. It might have been on Tally's own page. I can't quite recall.
It was on Tally's page.
Okay, so someone posted that was from Francesca's Hong's team.
Yeah,
that was on that page.
Under the Tally post.
Yeah, that they said, and this is where I think things got weird. Like, Hong tried to walk it back too. It's like, it was never going to be a big event. We didn't need it was never about renting a room. We wanted to have a small gathering for a group of supporters. It wasn't a meet the candidate. It all seems kind of like a lie.
It's for sure a lie, because the establishment said it was a meet the candidate.
Yep. Well,
so I mean,
an embarrassing one for Hong's team, and again, sucks that Tallies had to go through that whole thing. But one that I think
now we have the literal flip side of the coin.
So in downtown Milwaukee this week, when JD Vance was in town, Mehmet Oz, Dr. Oz, was in town as well, and he popped into Hawthorne Coffee Roasters, which is a south side of Milwaukee staple for coffee. And there was a picture that was taken by WISN News of him working the espresso machine, a couple of Hawthorne staff in the back smiling. And my first thought was maybe they just didn't follow politics and thought,
that's Dr. Oz.
Yeah.
It's that guy that was on TV.
He was on TV for a long time. Yeah. My mom watched Dr. Oz. He watched Dr. Oz on Oprah.
Like Dr. Oz, even though he is in the administration, like, he has a personality outside of politics. So, like, it would be very normal for someone to be like, oh, yeah, I like Dr. Oz.
Yeah. And in this case, since Hawthorne Coffee Roasters does all the progressive advertising and virtue signaling, they've got the rainbow flags, they've got the Hong for governor, they got the DSA Milwaukee stuff. They've got it all. I mean, it's a coffee shop.
They're probably unionized.
Right. And they took flack from the left. And I get such a kick out of this because you have a left-wing business who does everything right, and all they did was let Dr. Oz in.
They made him coffee.
And the Reddit crowd and that far left customer base is gutting them, just absolutely gutting them. And it's just so wild that if you take one step out of the liberal orthodoxy, you just like kind of
you leaned slightly.
Yeah. And that means you need to be canceled and your business needs to be shut down and we need an active boycott of this place. Just, again, Reddit being Reddit.
Well, this is why
the Milwaukee left, the left being the left that it is.
This is why it's so tough being a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
You live in constant fear.
Mm-hmm.
You could say all the right things, do the right things, think the right things,
right.
But you do something like accidentally, maybe not even intentionally, benign, off with their head. Yep. Like they're the devil. Mm-hmm. Like, why? How could you think like this? And that's I hate that part of politics. But that's really not my concern. Like that, we don't have to worry about that as much on the right. We have our own disagreements on policy and whatnot and how to solve things, but we're not quite this visceral. I think there are certain issues that we are, and I think that those are good fights to have. But something like this, like it's coffee, bro.
So I think we got to be helpful, and all the patriots listening in when they're in Milwaukee, put on, your most patriotic gear, give, your grunt style, your 1776 United, find that brand that, that Black Line brand, like wear your Freedom shirt and get your coffee, wear your Freedom shirt and take your picture right outside Hawthorne Coffee Roasters just to show your support and make sure they're not getting.
I'm not going to do that. You can't catch me dead crossing 124th Avenue. You can't catch me dead going across 124th. I will stay on the west side of 124th. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Good. That's very clever.
You know what? Go patronize them and go patronize Tallies.
Yeah.
How about that?
Both.
Go give them some business.
So have to talk about something. We have to revisit the 7th Congressional District campaign, I think, for our last bit of animal news here, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I love it so much. So during there was a debate segment on wasteful spending during the 7th Congressional debate. Michael Alfonso kind of made an off the cuff comment about how we were funding, the United States government and USAID was funding like transgender goats in Afghanistan, which is, a double hitter on, funny on multiple levels. But it's not that he made this joke. It's that the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel felt like it was important enough to fact check this. This is what's going on. We're talking about ICE agents saving lives. It's written on the Heartland Post. Everything, a lot of stuff we're talking tonight.
Silence.
Yeah, covered up. Yeah. So
transgender goats. Write that up immediately.
Yeah, and so they actually had to call the campaign spokesman and ask him where the answer about a transgender goat came from. And the response, Michael was obviously using hyperbole to underscore a serious point. Wisconsin taxpayers should not be forced to fund radical left-wing projects overseas. And here's where it gets even better. In an internet search, so this writer from the Journal-Sentinel searched transgender goats plus Afghanistan, which I can't imagine if you didn't have your safe search on, what you would have come up with.
Yeah, you don't want to know that.
But it didn't yield much. But there was an effort funded by the United States government in Afghanistan to import a small herd of rare Italian goats to the countryside in order to help grow the textile economy, according to a report by the Washington Post. The U.S. government spent $6 million on the project intended to help increase the country's production of cashmere. Many of the goats got sick and died, and the program director quit the endeavor. No boost to the cashmere industry in Afghanistan was realized. There was literally a goat. Now, mustaches it wasn't instead of transgender, they had little hats on and probably had a great pasta recipe.
Imagine voting for the budget bill that sends money to Afghanistan to boost their economic output of Kashmir.
Yeah.
Are we serious? Like, what are we doing?
It's beautiful. It almost proves Alfonso's point about the ridiculous waste in government.
It does.
But no, pants on fire.
Oh, God.
Totally false, because there are no transgender goats.
Okay, transgender goats is really funny.
I know.
I'm sorry, it is.
I know.
But just I'm just the absolute ridiculousness of it, that the entire I almost said the entire American world based, first of all, America, we are the world. The fact that the entire world is subsidized by the United States. I mean, is Afghanistan not capable of producing their own textile industry? I mean, it's basically a back river country that has no development whatsoever.
Right.
But like, what is there a sudden shortage, and it's on the American taxpayer to make sure that we can export more Kashmir? Like, what? It's just so ridiculous. And if only the American people knew the kind of crap we spend our money on.
It kind of concludes that Michael's statement was actually right, because I think the LGBTQIA, the I is Italian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Italian goats.
Yeah.
Italian goats, Kashmir. $6 million.
Yeah. With that, I want to thank all the listeners for hanging out with us tonight. If you like what you hear, make sure to leave us the 5-star rating on Apple, Spotify. If you write a review, we'll read it on the air. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. If you want more content, check out what we're writing at the Heartland Post. I wrote this really cool piece on ICE in Milwaukee. They are refusing to comply with any of the ICE out orders and are making sure, that the Milwaukee Police Department is not actually going to follow through with enforcing it. So, of course, if you want to learn more about us or have any questions, hit us up at email at newfashionpod@gmail.com. Find us on Rumble, YouTube, and Substack at New Fashion Conservatives, on X at New Fashion Pod. I'm Justin E. Phillips on X.
Robin_Voss_Stan on X.
Have a great Monday.